Epistle to Titus, Introduction. Author, the Apostle Paul as he mentions himself, Titus 1:1. Some objected to him being the author of this letter because the book of Acts does not mention his preaching on the island of Crete, where Titus was its bishop. He visited it briefly during his journey to Rome to stand trial there when he stopped at one of its ports called Fair Havens, Acts 27:7-8. However, the response to this objection is that the book of Acts ends with Paul's first imprisonment in Rome, and Paul preached in Crete after his first imprisonment during his fourth missionary journey. To whom was it written? Titus was the nephew, the son of the sister, of the governor of the island of Crete, and was born in Antioch of Syria, and he was a Gentile, Galatians 2:3. The governor of Crete heard about the Christian faith. He sent Titus to investigate the matter, and after studying the Christian faith, Titus believed in it through the ministry of the Apostle Paul. Was one of Paul's closest disciples, and Paul called him a true son in our common faith, Titus 1:4. Paul didn't let Titus leave his side easily and was upset when Titus was not with him in Troas, 2 Corinthians 2:13. Went with Paul to the Council of Jerusalem in the year 50 AD as evidence of the faith of the Gentiles, Acts 15, Galatians 2 verse 1, and Paul did not require him to be circumcised there, insisting on the freedom of the Christian believer and not submitting to Jewish customs, Galatians 2:3. Assisted Paul and accompanied him on his missionary journeys, and it is believed that he carried the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians from Ephesus and the second letter to the Corinthians from Macedonia. Accompanied Paul on his visit to Crete during the fourth missionary journey, and remained there to complete the organization and orders of the church, Titus 1:5. Was with Paul during his second imprisonment in Rome in 71 AD, but was then sent to preach in Dalmatia, current-day Croatia, 2 Timothy 4:10. People of Venice greatly revere him, considering him their evangelist. Therefore, it is concluded from this that he also preached there. He lived a celibate life and departed at the age of 94. The island of Crete, one of the largest islands in the Mediterranean Sea, located near the Greek Gulf. Its location is distinct because it is situated between the continents of Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was named in the Old Testament as Captor, Deuteronomy 2:23. Then it was called Crete or Candia, and the Turks call it Candia. It is about 150 miles long, and its width reaches about 35 miles in some areas. A mountain range extends through it, with the highest peaks reaching around 7,700 feet. In these mountains, there are caves that were used for pagan worship, especially for the god Jupiter. The island is filled with fertile valleys between the mountains. In ancient times, it was inhabited by around 1 million people, but now they are no more than 250,000. They were known for writing historical books. Its inhabitants were pagans who worshipped Jupiter, and many Jews migrated to it since the days of Alexander the Great, 330 BC, until before the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. The Romans took control of it in 69 BC, then it belonged to the Venetians in the 13th century, and later to the Turks in the 17th century. Currently it is part of Greece. Its people were known for lying, filthy desires, and greed. The Church of Crete. Some believe that the gospel reached Crete through the Jews who believed on the day of Pentecost, as some of them were from this island. However, when Paul visited it during his quick visit on his way to Rome as a prisoner for his first imprisonment, he did not mention meeting any believers there. Paul visited Crete and preached there after his first imprisonment in Rome during his fourth missionary journey. He was accompanied by Titus, whom he left behind to complete the ministry and organize the church, Titus 1:5. He faced the heresy of the Judaizers there, which was an attempt to bring back the converted Jews to Jewish worship, as well as the spread of immorality in the region. 64 AD. The place of its writing, mostly in Ephesus, but there is an opinion that it was written in Nicopolis in northern Greece. Purpose: one concern for the ordination of elders, priestly who oversee the church. 2. Instructions on Christian conduct for each segment of the congregation. 3. Christian conduct within society. Sections 1. Conditions for the ordination of overseers and elders, clergy, Chapter 1. 2. The bishop's care for each segment of the congregation, Chapter 2. 3. Dealing with authorities and avoiding false teachers, Chapter 3.